Growing up in Utah, I definitely felt because of the culture here, as well as just being a minority, that women aren't you're supposed to get married and raise kids.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby. I just want to remind you we have a date night on Sunday.
Where are we going?
It's a surprise.
I don't like surprises.
Talking about growing up in Utah a little bit, like, what were some of the conversations you had to have with your kids? Like, that must have been so difficult for you as a mother.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm sensitive about, and I brought it up a few times, and at the reunion it came up too. I said, my sons, I have to, like, my son Omar, he plays football. He does his workout every day. He has to run his 3.5 miles. If he runs after dark, I go follow him in the car because I'm afraid they're going to see a black boy. He's big. He's 16 years old, wearing a hoodie, running in a very nice, affluent, gated neighborhood. And they're going to think, oh my gosh, he's robbing someone's house and running away. You hear those stories all the time. And as a mom, it scares the crap out of me. And so, like, that's what I deal with on a daily basis. And that's just what that's our norm, and that's what it is. And so that's what I have to deal with. My oldest son, him and his friends in college wanted to go to drive, to Southern Utah, or it was to Vegas for spring break. It's like a 6-hour drive. And I told them, I said, no, you can't drive because you have an $80,000 vehicle. They're going to see a black man driving through these, rural parts of Utah, and they're going to pull you over because they're going to think you stole the car. These are the things that, as a mother of, 2 black boys, that I have to worry about. Like, this is my life. Omar walks home from school one day and he gets stopped in our own neighborhood. He gets stopped and they're like, hey, there's no soliciting here. There's no soliciting. And he's like, yeah, I'm not selling anything. He's walking home from football. And the truck follows him and is like, I'm calling the cops on you. I told you there's no soliciting. And he's like, I'm not selling anything. I live here. And the guy's like, where do you live? And he's like, in that house. He's like, with who? And I'm like, with who? His parents. Like, what? But it's become, unfortunately, this is like the norm right here. And this is what we've had to deal with. And that's why I was like, no, I'm going to speak up now that I have this platform, because if we can change, one person, 10 people, then great. Because these are the things I have to deal with that, my castmates don't, that are white and have white children. They don't have to deal with that. And that's why for me, it's so, it's so hard. It's so dangerous to label a person of color or to accuse them of something when they're just freely throwing around terms, right? Like, oh, you're dangerous. I'm terrified. To us, that means something different, because people of color and blacks, they're likely to go to jail and be sentenced longer and accused of something they didn't do, at a rate of 60+% more than a white person. So that's why it's so, to me, it's dangerous. Like, that's why, the other ladies on my cast, maybe they don't understand why I'm telling them it's dangerous to label people of color this, because it means something else. Like, we get labeled this, and it's been happening for over 400+ years. Like, it means something. There's higher stakes for people of color when you label that, we put that kind of a label on them.
Did you ever think that you were gonna, like, be using your platform to make a change and to talk about social justice? Like, or did you just think you were coming into the Real Housewives like, hey, I'm gonna go get drunk with my friends and have a good time?
No, I always knew that that's just who I am, and it's really not like I'm consciously thinking like I'm going to go out with this new political social justice campaign or anything. It's literally just what I'm living, breathing, and dealing with every day. And so that's what I'm putting up on my platform. But I think it's important to use, if you've been given the opportunity to have a platform like this, to use it for good, and to make sure that, especially more than ever right now with everything going on. My family and I, we've had to work very hard for what we have, and things mean a little bit more to us than probably other people, right? That's why I am big and over the top, because hell yeah, I'm going to celebrate every single thing and milestone we accomplished. And to other people, that seems, oh my gosh, she's so extra. She's over the top. To me, it's like, no, I'm celebrating because hopefully I want to celebrate. I want people to see that people of color are doing great things. And I want my kids to know like how proud I am of them, my husband to know, you know, because they've accomplished great things. And, you know, I want to hopefully, you know, reinforce that and be an example to people of color, like you can be successful. This is the norm, even if you didn't grow up with it in your family. This is, my hope is for this to be the norm where people of color come into this world knowing like, I can be whatever I want to be. I can do whatever I want to do. I can run a business, own a business, and be successful instead of feeling that insecurity, which at least from my perspective, growing up in Utah, I definitely felt.
Mary is crazy. Shut the up about Mary.
And what you didn't see was, she didn't tell me and I threw a glass. It went back and forth for quite a while. And I said, look, if you don't stop, please stop. Like, then I was like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna throw the glass. It's not right to do that to somebody and, you know, to give them a narrative and put something on them because it's, you know, I'm not white. And I feel like that's really why they did that. I mean, they didn't say it about anyone else. And I mean, Heather came on there and was like, I'm gonna cut a bitch. Everyone laughed. If I said that, I'd be in handcuffs. They'd be dragging me over to the jail if I said that. So like there's this double standard, and I hope that we can get some education from it and people can make some changes. And just because what I want to believe is that it's just more ignorance than, you know, truly try to, you know, maliciously treat someone. I don't think it's coming from a place of being malicious. I think it's coming from a place of like ignorance.